Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. I have one camera connected, which is my backup camera, but I'm trying to get my other one connected. It's not working for some reason, but we're gonna see if it works. If not, I will just reconfigure my other camera. Oh. Oh. Is that it? There you go. Look at that. All right. There you go. All right. So let's get our mouse pad out of here. Our keyboard. All right. So we have a good platform here. Let's get the focus. Manual focus. There you go. That looks pretty good. What's up, guys? If this camera starts to go all funky, let me know. It's been I had some updates on my computer, and normally that messes up my settings. So yeah, but should be good. Okay, we're gonna turn off desktop audio. Just hear me. That way I can look at the screen. What's up, guys? What's up, Simon? What's up, Vishwa? What's up, Shangnara? Am I gonna fold the turtle knight? Kind of, except it doesn't really look like a turtle knight anymore. Let me show you guys what I got, okay? This is kind of a leak, which is kind of exciting. So, here it is. Look at that. But yeah, it's the turtle pleats, basically, Simon. Like, you can see it much more in the legs, but everywhere else it's a little bit just all around spiky. But it's more like Ryujin spine spikes than the turtle shell. So, pretty neat in my opinion, and I'm pretty excited about this one. Now, you guys might know that I was folding a different colored one last time. And that one is going to be posted tomorrow. It's a really special post. I can't leak too much about it, but it's a collaboration post with someone really, really good. And so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna try not to leak too much about it because I want the hype. I want you guys wondering what's it gonna be. However, I actually don't know the name or what to name this design. So I was gonna ask you guys to help me name it. Although the one I'm posting tomorrow, it has a completely different head. So the head you see here, this is brand new. This is way different than the other one. If you guys have ideas, just shoot them at me, and then maybe it'll fit. You guys don't know what my fold or my collaborator's fold looks like, or you might actually if you've been keeping track of Origami Dan. But yeah, let me know. I think it would have to be more. Yeah, I think it is possible. This isn't for Origami Dan though, so Turtle Knight, it's more of a joke from last time where the structure really looked like a turtle. But my design would not count at all for that contest. But I think you if you did maybe not like a bunny girl outfit, but if you did like a rabbit girl, then that would count. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go refill my water quickly, and I'll let you guys just kind of look at this. Throw out some names. Basically, if you can find names for armor like this, I forget what the head looks like, but just the armor itself, besides turtle armor or armor guy or spiky armor, if you can think of something, I'll be considering it potentially for the name. But yeah, I'll be right back. Please turn over to model. Okay, I'll show this. I'll show it more when I come back. So let me get some water really quick, and then I'll be right back. But I know, right? Closed back. Like, look how closed it is. It's like really closed. Pretty cool, huh? All right, I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Using the exact same color paper for your design. Awesome. Yeah, this is a masa paper. I think it's either masa or kitakata. I can't remember which one. I took off the tag. But this paper is pretty nice. It's actually it's thicker than the other one I was working on, which I wanted it to actually be thicker because the other one's a little bit too thin. You know, since I actually designed like an efficient design, the paper was way thinner than than I expected. So for this design, like a thicker paper, not like a thick paper, but maybe like 60 GSM would work pretty well. I think this one is probably around 40 or 50 after I painted it. 'Cause I dyed it with some acrylic. It's hard to, I guess you might be able to see, you can see it kind of reflects light. It's kind of shiny. In real life, it's got a small shine to it because of the paint I used. I actually wanted it to be a bit darker than it is now, but it's not bad. And it's got like a little bit of a shine to it, which works for the armor at least. I always try to use the thickest paper possible. That's funny. The spiky arms and legs give it an armadillo lizard vibe. Ooh, yeah, armadillo lizard vibe. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, you're very much right, I guess. It's definitely like a lizard, kind of. I mean, oh, wait, turtles don't count as lizards. But yeah, like right here, kind of like a bearded dragon. You know, there's a couple bearded dragon designs with this exact structure. So that makes sense. But yeah. Closed back is pretty cool, right? My hinge for the arm is pretty natural and it fits into this kind of structure. Now the one thing is this level shift here it's just a normal level shifter. I just reverse folded it, but I might actually shift this one and then shift this back in, because the point of this back shifter over here is to create depth on the side as well as to hide layers, which there's really no more layers besides these, right? It's a pretty efficient design. However, I forgot that the arms, it runs into this. So if I went down a little bit, it would look a little bit less closed, but it wouldn't get blocked by an arm. But it might not matter. I'll probably fold another one just because I actually really like this space. Like the title of this video, this is probably one of the best design-wise, I have ever done. And so it can really much adapt. And if I don't fold this exact one, I can always bump. So this is a 32 grid. I can bump it up to 48 grid, and then I can add like a sword or something. But it'd be pretty much the same. Be very, very similar. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Now, one thing here, I haven't done the pleat design like down here because it actually helps with the armor. I don't know. I'll either add it or I won't add it, but we can worry about that later. I don't think it'll look like a turtle or lizard once it's shaped. Any reference for this design? There's not really any reference because the original design concept was to take this structure and put it for the legs, the chest, and the arms. Which the arms are a little bit different, but you kind of have the thing, the concept. It's like 3/4 on the arms. There was no reference or theme or anything besides like a suit of armor, which really left it open-ended. So like this is much more like a knight. The other one I did is not like a knight at all, and you'll see what I mean when I post it tomorrow. And then even Alan's did I say Alan? My collaborators. All right, it's Alan. Alan's fold is very much not a knight as well. It's a little bit different, I think. But yeah. So what is this design? I don't really know. I have this listed as pleat armor. That's the crease pattern file name. But yeah, if you guys can help me out with a name, it's like an armor, but I don't know what what else really to go from there. I have some ideas in my head, but like not really good ideas yet. So gotta try to find a name, and then that's like the last step for the post. But yeah, all right, so we're gonna fold out these fingers really quick, and then I think that's one of the last structural things we need to do besides the arm joint, but that is more shaping than structure. And then we can begin shaping. Now I think this pose, it's not gonna be super dynamic either. I want this to be more of a strong pose, a strong vibe pose. More just to showcase the details in the armor a bit than to make a dynamic looking model. Or yeah, no, I think I'll stick with that. Or I could make it dynamic, I guess, but it might defeat the purpose a little bit. I'll have to see how I feel, but I mean, it still won't be too static. I want to try to convey a static pose, but give it some emotion, either emotion of like strength or like, I don't know, something. But I don't need him like jumping in the air or like punching someone or anything like that. Spiky guy. Oh, Alan is here. What's up, Alan? Yeah, Alan, we need names, right? What do we name it? Spiky guy. That's so funny. Did I talk about Alan without looking, and then Alan popped up? What's up, Alan? How big is the paper? This one is I think this one's a bit over 50 centimeters. I can't remember if this is 60 centimeters or 50 centimeters, but it doesn't shrink very much. I folded the base with 40 centimeter kami and it survived. It wouldn't be the best for shaping, but you could use 50 centimeter kami, and if you're really careful, you could fully do this design for sure. You would have to pre-crease a little bit more. So as Al and I discovered, you can fold this model without pre-creasing like any of these pleats. Just because of, yeah, it's like I left room for the structure to be just pull the layer, fold it, squash fold it, unsync or sync it, and then, do all that sort of fun stuff. The kami might not survive, but like a handmade paper that is a little bit stretchier, oh yeah, you don't need to pre-crease much at all. But you don't need a very large large square for this at all. Like I bet I could fold this from 30 centimeters, and have like a pretty decent result. It'd be really annoying to do the details, but when did that ever stop anyone, right? Yeah, like if you know the structures in this design already, it's not very hard to fold. The complexity is an illusion. If that makes sense. But yeah, guys, look forward to the post tomorrow. I think it'll be in the afternoon my time, so in like 15 hours maybe will be when the post drops. So we have 15 hours to think of a name. But yeah. It is kind of difficult though. The thing is we could just kind of name the armor, and then like these versions are like variants of this, because it is much more designed as a base and then customized from there. But yeah, it's more like the armor type. I was trying to look up like, what do you name armors? Like, what's a good way to name armor? I didn't really read any results yet though, because I did not have the time yet to browse fully. But that might be a starting place for me afterwards. Yeah, we're gonna get these fingers done and then break out some of the glue. I think I'm gonna glue the head first. The head's actually pretty simple in how the face shape is made, but it works like well proportionally. I really want to stay here and watch you shape it, but I have an exam tomorrow, so I'm studying. Hey, study hard, guys. Study really hard. Don't you can this stream will be saved, so you can come back and see how I shape it later. Good luck in studying, Vishwa. I hope you do well in your exam. Doing well in exams in the future will let you buy nice origami paper. So study hard. Now that's what I would tell myself. Back when I was in university, even though there were definitely times I didn't want to study, it was like, okay, I need to study, because then I can go to origami conventions and buy origami paper. And that's what I'm doing now. Let's go. I also have an exam next week. Yeah, guys, make sure you study hard. But thanks for joining in for a little bit. I appreciate it. All right, we're almost done with these fingers. Wow, rare boy stream. Hey, what's up, Tim? It is a rare boy stream, although they're slightly becoming less rare now that I'm not in school anymore. So I think this is like in February I started streaming again in February, and in February alone, do we have 6 streams? Is it 6? Maybe 5? A couple of them are unarchived, or yeah, they're unarchived. So they're not all there, but we had the one last week, the big legendary one. There's this one now, and I think I did the first time when I was designing this was unarchived. I did an IO stream that was unarchived. So yeah, like 4 or 5 streams. First exam is Chinese. Oh wow. Sounds difficult. I'm done with school now. That's right. I graduated. It's crazy. Yeah, guys, Tim found me when I was first streaming on Twitch, when I had recently started university. I think it was in my 2nd year of university at that time. And then now, what is it, 3 years later? Or 4 years later? 3 years later? I did a master's, so like 3 or 4 years later. We're streaming on YouTube now. And Twitch, I guess. But now I'm done with school. It's pretty crazy. Congrats. Thanks, man. playing League and watching a stream. Hey, let's go. Just make sure to don't miss too much CS, Alan, when typing in chat. Boys, were you still in high school when I met you? Ooh, that's a good question, Donnie. I think I just finished my first year. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I think it was my first year of college when I met you. I think I was fresh out of high school. Yeah. Yeah, because like the end of my high school was when I first folded that giant Western dragon. And so I hadn't gone much into origami. And then it's like that year, like right out of high school is when I really started to do more complex stuff. And then, yeah, so it was right when I entered college, basically. Wow, that's crazy, Donnie. I think it's just you and Donnie. You, Donnie, I can see it. What? Now I'm also sure. I know, right? Dude, the times have changed. That's crazy, man. You know, when I met you, Donnie, I couldn't cork back then. Isn't that wild? Okay, I'm trying to remember how I wanted to structure the arms. I want this knight. So, thinking of like a guild, you know, like the guild in say like anime or any kind of like fantasy story. There's always like the strong knights that are like the level 2 guild members that they're like a little bit cockier, but like not too, you know, they're not like insanely powerful, but that's kind of like the vibe. Well, maybe I do want to give this guy a sense of he's like a powerful member, you know. He's like a knight or something. Well, let's actually, honestly, we don't really need glue for the helmet, I don't think, but I'm going to add a little bit just because I know over time it's going to, well, you know, actually this is holding up pretty well. Maybe I don't need, okay, I'm going to use it for the back of the helmet, so these flaps here, just to hold these down. But this actually locks in really nicely because of this paper. Like you can see here, this is no glue yet, and it just holds pretty well. Okay, so maybe we don't need glue, but I'm going to glue these flaps down, that way we can start cleaning it up a little bit. Same, I also could not cork. Yeah, that's true. But you're about yeah, Donnie, you're like close to my age. And you're definitely better at tricking than I was when I was your age. And I had already been tricking for like a little bit. Imagining the model as a character helps so much. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like how you really can get vibes. There you go, guys. That's origami folding tips from Alan. Imagine your fold as a character. That's great advice there. Okay, I need to clean my brush. Look at how much PVA is caked on there. But it kind of helps for applying it, but not for thin ones. So let's use this brush as well for thin application. An ancient alien warrior. I see, yeah. I get that vibe from yours. Hello, Peter. What's up? Do you guys ever get... I try not to get hurt, because getting hurt is bad. So I try not to, Simon, but sometimes it's unavoidable. But generally, if you condition and you're careful, and you don't try anything like too outside of what you know you can do, or that you know if you miss it, it'll be a safe landing, then you can reduce a lot of injury, or a lot of chance for injury, by training safely and smartly. last time I went to school before lockdown started, I was the smallest in class, and now I'm super tall. Hey, let's go. That does happen. Ancient alien warrior. I said I was going to do the head, but I just realized that I can also do this really quickly. I'll be That's true. I guess I came from free running. So I had a lot of free running skills, or I had much more parkour skills, but not as much of the tricking skills yet. Dude, I couldn't kick Donnie back in the day. Oh, man. I'll be in high school on the 4th of April. Ooh, nice. What glue do I use? It is a PVA. Hold on, I gotta try to show it to you without spilling it. Looks like that. I used to just use white glue. But I moved on to this because it dries a little bit faster. But a lot of people use different types of glue. If you watch the... I recommend you watch my last live stream, the Legendary Design collaboration. Because you can see... I think, like... I'm using a different glue than Chris, and then like Forger's using super glue, and then Kay is, I don't think he even used glue, he was using foil. Bodo was using a different mix glue that he has. I think it's also more PVA related, but yeah, so you can see the differences in how we shape through that live stream and what we do. And shaping with MC actually, a lot of times people add MC to PVA to make it dry slower. But it's pretty much the same. It's just MC dries slower than PVA. PVA is basically the adhesive in glues. So like if you get a school glue, what makes it sticky is the PVA in it. And then the other chemicals either make it non-toxic or thicker like a filler, or more watery for different applications, or soluble. You know, there's different kinds of stuff that I'm not too sure on the science of glues, but I think that's what it is. But PVA, raw PVA, or the PVA I'm using, it's much more catered towards paper arts and like bookbinding, which is why it'll dry on paper fast. It's not like an all surface or all material kind of glue. Like a school craft glue will be like, oh, you can do like rubber, plastic, foam. There's a lot of craft stuff. General craft uses, but this one is specific to paper. Super glue is OP. Yeah, use that, only that for my... Oh dude, that's cool. Yeah guys, dude, I need to experiment with super glue, because after watching Forger use it live, it looked very interesting to use, especially for like a different style of shaping. And if you guys have seen Alan and Forger shaping, like actually Alan's shaping is a lot different than Forger shaping. But they're both very, very unique and very, very well done. So I gotta try some super glue sometime. When you try new stuff, you don't want to like blast through stuff. That is, yeah, correct, Donnie. I've only ever been injured doing tricks I've already landed. That's kind of a good... Actually, yeah, my worst injuries were from a backflip. And then my like... other injuries, it was either well, one was from a castaway, but that's kind of like a backflip as well. That was bad. It wasn't too bad, but I try not to get injured. Ankles and toes kind of go anytime you exercise, though. You're always at risk. Any tip on folding Ryujin? Shang, I think you're good enough. Don't cut it in half. Don't do the... This is probably like an anti-advice, because this will make it harder, but don't cut the square in half and pre-crease it. Like, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but my opinion on folding Ryujin, if you're going to fold the Ryujin, just go all in. It's like, accept the full challenge with the square. And seeing your folds, I think you're good enough to just do the full square challenge. I would say to make it as seamless as possible, though, pre-crease the scales. I know some people don't pre-crease the scales, but I don't know. I'd say pre-crease the scales, and then work on it, but don't work on it too much. So like you don't want to burn yourself out. So it's easiest to work on it when you like haven't had time to work on it, and then you finally do get time to work on it, and then you can really put some work in. But if you try to like grind out like 8 hours, you might get tired of the fold. So it's more of a mental game and endurance than it is difficult. It's not very difficult. It's just really long. And then also I recommend studying a lot of Ryujin legs, because a lot of people skip shaping on the legs. So try to find like Satoshi Kamiya's is a good example. Who else has good legs? Yeah, I don't know. Look for good legs on Ryujin and try to shape it well. Because a lot of people like they leave the claws like really mushed, or they leave the claws like really wimpy like this versus like this, you know. Where if you look at, or like this, if you look at Kamiya's, they're kind of like this. And a lot of people, they like relax the claws like that. So you can also test fold things. Test folding parts on Ryujin will be like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And then when you get to it, you don't worry as much. I didn't test fold too much for the Ryujin actually. The main test fold I did was just folding Chernojin, and then that was pretty much it. Cause like that's like the head, and then you don't really do the neck twist on Chernojin, but the leg scales. Those are the more difficult parts, I think. My Ryujin was 2 rectangles. But see, Alan, do you wish that it was a full square, right? I don't know. Honestly, doing it as 2 rectangles is probably cleaner, but just fold it as a square. You know what I mean? Oh, Lowe's legs. Yeah, Lowe's legs are really awesome. Yeah, Lowe's Ryujin in general is super awesome. That's a good one to look at. The yellow Ryujin that you mentioned in my Hall of Fame video, that was probably Lowe's. That yellow one. I think that's Lowe's. Leave-in. What time is it here? It's 9 p.m. my time. It's not bad. I always super glued your fingers. Lol, that's funny. I would probably get myself gloves. Actually, so I don't like my fingers getting sticky or dirty. So if I super glued my fingers, that would annoy me really badly. I'd probably wear gloves when I use super glue. Like those disposable food gloves or whatever. It's 2 a.m. here. Didn't even notice. Yeah, Alan's time zone's so you're like 4 hours ahead of me or something? 5 hours? Let's see. Brazil time is, yeah. So it's a bit ahead of mine. Since I'm in the furthest west of the United States. Fall for me, and then yeah, it should be morning and close to noon for India and Asia. Okay, so we did. I don't know if I used enough glue, but I don't want to use too much. I think that's enough glue for now. The one thing I need to do on the head here, though, I need to find a decent way to thin this neck. That's like not too mushy, but what's probably going to happen is I'm going to mush it. But that's kind of okay. All right, what are some other surface things we can probably just glue that I won't worry about need to worry about the details too much? Probably here. Just make these really clean so that when I shape them, they don't paper creep their way out. Hello, thanks for joining the stream. What model is this? This is my new design. It does not have a name yet, because I'm still thinking of a name. I'm not sure what to. I don't know what his name is going to be, but it's some kind of armor basically, and then the helmet is more of like a knight's helmet. But I want to name the armor more than the character, because there's 3 different versions. Two from me and then one from Alan. And they're all very different from each other in terms of like the vibe. And even a lot of the shaping. Alan did a lot of different shaping. When should I submit the OBB competition? It's due in 2 days. So you have 48 hours, Chachawin, to submit. You can submit if you're done. You can submit now. A lot of people posted today, so it would be a good time to post. Oh yeah, Alan, if you're still here. Oh yeah, you're still here. You're right there. Generic base number 1. True. Generic base. I like that. That's probably what I would name it if I was just by myself. I changed the skirt a little bit here, so like it actually makes sense now instead of being tucked behind all the layers with the level shifters for this. And then it makes the waistcoat make a little bit more sense, I think. So then when I move the legs this way, it'll make more sense that the waist is up here. At least for this one. I did it way differently on my other one. And then I saw that you did it differently as well to get your legs longer. Scaled armor warrior. Maybe, but there's not really scales. Like, I don't know if these are scales. It is the armor. It is kind of like a warrior's armor, right? That is. So I kind of like that part. Although I probably can't just leave it as a warrior's armor. Or I guess I could, but I probably shouldn't. Rathalos Slayer. Yeah, I know. It's really close to Rathalos armor. Honestly, it's like it's not exact to any of the actual versions of Rathalos armor, but it's definitely inspired off of it. I mean, it was inspired off the Rathalos. Do you guys see my Rathalos fold? These is the Rathalos designed by Joker. Here, I have it right next to me. You can see the comparison. Right? So the back of it is it's too big. Right, so it's basically like the back of the here is this exact structure, except this is level shifted down, and then at the normal level I have this, which is basically the same, and then going in the opposite direction I have that same structure as well. And that's how I layered the armor. I think that's going to turn out pretty cool, but down here it's basically the same as this. Pretty cool, right? So that was the inspiration. And then because this is a Rathalos, like the Rathalos armor from the games looks really similar, like especially here. Except instead of facing down, the Rathalos armor would face up. The spikes all face up on the Rathalos armor. Bobby Louie, hello. Welcome to the stream. Dude, thanks for hopping in. Name it after a trick. I don't know if that makes sense though, Donnie. Like it still kind of relatively needs to make sense. Just to categorize it well as a name. Hardest part is making the grid. Oh, for 2 meter paper? Yeah, making a grid on 2 meters is going to be kind of frustrating. Honestly. What other surface details can we take care of? Okay, I think I'm going to do the feet the exact... So the thing is, I can't spend too much time, or I don't want to spend too much time folding this because I want to make other designs. So shaping wise, we are going to go a little bit faster, or we're going to try to go a little bit faster. But we can use, I'm going to do basically the same legs as my other version. Need to post my rooster. Yeah, dude, your rooster fold was great. No rush. Very true. Rushing is bad. Rushing is like leads to sloppiness and stuff. Or accidents. We don't need any accidents here. Oh, I know what we can do. We can glue down a lot of these pleats because we just need them to hold in place for the most part. All right, do you get some good sleep, Donnie? Thanks for hopping by. Good luck with the fold. Thank you. You can use the 2.5 meter technique. Oh man. Square challenge, only square note. Good. That makes me happy if you do the square challenge. Not that that was important or anything, but I do like seeing it done from a square. It really isn't that much harder. Well, okay. You know what? I'd say doing it from the rectangle, it makes it easier for sure. But it's not like it's hard to do from the square is like my thing. Oh, excuse me. I started to dislike some shaping processes because of how much time they take. Yeah, that's why I started using faster glue, Alan, and why I think I'll probably try super glue sometime. Because yeah, there's like other things I want to make, but I don't have all the time in the world. So even though spending a lot of time on shaping is nice, like I totally feel you. Like sometimes it just takes a little bit too long. Which is cool about the design collaboration because it forced me to fold and shape a model like way faster than I normally would. So I feel like just even from that, I'm starting to make decisions faster about shaping and just go from there. So I think a lot of time I would spend on shaping would be like trying stuff and like thinking about it way too much. Gluing the layers is the only thing that can get boring. I guess so. I don't mind it though because it gives me room to think, and then when I stream, it gives me room to talk. I mean maybe for models that have a lot of layers you have to glue, it does get pretty boring. This one's there's not too many layers, so like the legs are like. I mean most of it's locked in from the shifter, right? That are like the consecutive layers. But there's not that many layers. Like within those, there's like 6, right? And then on this side, there's like, it's just those, but you don't really need to glue those layers because you probably shouldn't actually, to let the leg be 3D. It's still shaping the origami waifu. Nice, dude. Yeah, you got some time to shape and then submit. I guess so. Technically, folding 2 grids on a rectangle does take longer. Maybe. Because it's just like you fold long. Yeah, I guess the time spent on... I don't know. That's an interesting... I don't know how much longer it would actually take. That's an interesting thing to think about. Folding a 96 by 48... And then versus like a 96 by 96. Just all in one go. Another reason why I used super glue of mine was that the paper was so thick. Ah, so it needs the extra strength to like really hold. Did you use a triple? Was it a triple paper you used, Alan, or something? Or like I mean, even a double would start to get a little bit thicker. Insects have a lot of layers of glue. Yeah, insects have a lot of layers of glue. Since, I mean, insects, the proportions, right? You need long, long limbs compared to the body ratio, so you're going to have a lot more layers generally. Okay, so that's like a fair amount there. Let's actually do... I guess I forgot to do this side. Double Unread plus Wenjo. Yeah, wow, that's thick. All right, again, places. Okay, the layers I will glue through, actually I am going to glue through the shoulders because we want these thin, and then that way I'm going to round out the shoulder blades. But the actual joint here, I want these glued together. More so that they'll be malleable, but strong to hold form. It's either that or I use a wire, but I don't think I'll do that here. I don't think I need to. I would need to do that if the paper was thinner. From Origami Bell and Aaron, One Paper Man, they said it would be great if you pre-crease every single line properly. Yeah. That does help, especially for a really clean looking region. Or for your first one too. That's good advice. But yeah, after these, I've spent quite a lot of time on, I spent 2 weeks, or revolving around this design. So like, I first designed the other one 2 weeks ago. And then I did the Ceramis, which was kind of similar to this. And then I started working on this one last week. And so like, I've learned so much from doing this design. I'm excited to see like, if I go back to a 48 grid, like what I can add within a 48 grid to design. Maybe since people really enjoyed the Oriedita streams, I will do another Oriedita stream and try to do something with a weapon again or something. Although I wanted to design like a, instead of a waifu, they call them husbandos is the slang term. but kind of like a dress suit, like a very fine suit, suited male character, instead of a female character, or a male character that's not in a suit of armor. Yeah, I want to design that. But I also like designing weapons for some reason, like fantasy weapons or things holding weapons, because I don't know, it's just fun. It's just cool. And it's also like a unique problem that I feel like I can learn to become more and more efficient with. Because I have a couple very brute force methods from before. The other thing I want to do, I kind of want to make another Samurai version 3, because it's been a while, but then modify the design into Samurai version 4. Hello, Arjun. Is it really important to glue every single layer? No, not really, but I'm okay with spending the time to do it. I won't glue every layer on everything though, because then it'll look like way too flat. But at least for these joints here, because I want to pose the arms upwards and like away from gravity, it's important that this is at least pretty locked in and pretty durable, so that it can actually have the strength to hold the rest of the arm up. And again, the alternative to this is just using wire. But I don't think I need to use wire if I can just glue the layers. You know how sometimes people stuff their models with cotton when you design it in a way? I don't want to stuff. For me, that... So, like, I'm okay with using wire, but I don't like stuffing. Like, I don't want to do that. And like, I think it's fine that people do that, but for a personal choice, I don't want to do that in my models. And especially if I use paper to stuff it, then I can't really say. For me, I'd feel weird saying it's one sheet of paper if there's more paper inside of it, stuffing it. So, plus I think it's impressive when I show underneath the model and you can see inside and it's hollowed, and it's more that I used the glue to hold the shape or something. Also, a lot of times, if you, at least when I've seen people stuff models, you can really tell that it's been stuffed. So, I don't know. Like, using wire, it mainly is pretty hidden, unless you look, like, really closely. So I kind of prefer that. Like, the more minimalistic, you know, I mean, obviously with the cotton, like, with the cotton eyes that people do, like, it looks really good. But I've also seen a lot of people comment that it can look overshaped. Which, like, sure, like, it kind of makes sense, you know. It's kind of obvious that there's cotton used, but I feel like I can get the effect of cotton without cotton by just glue and patience. Can you do a folding a grid stream? That's like, that used to be most of my streams, honestly. When I would start a model, it'd just be like 45 minutes of folding a grid. I don't know if that'd entertain people. Maybe it'll be ASMR for some people, but we'll see. I've done quite a few of those, though. But we might have, like, unofficial folding a grid streams occasionally when I start a new model and just want to fold a grid. Glue and foil to shape models. Yeah, I've seen people also add foil inside of layers to shape. I think, like, Plant does that sometimes. That I'd kind of be okay with doing that too, because that's kind of like using wire. But I don't know. It seems the same to me as using wire. I mean, there's definitely cases where it's, like, probably better than wire to have a sheet of foil, because it doesn't, like, make a mark, and it's thinner technically and wider, so you get more surface area that you can shape with. But I haven't found the need to do that too much. Yeah, it's very therapeutic for me to use glue. So I don't mind doing the layers like this. Unless if it's too much. Like, if, yeah, again, on insects, it can get really tedious. Or over tedious. Where I start not to enjoy it as much. But here, this is fine. Because I'm kind of still visualizing either the name of this model or just like the pose I want. Got any tips for studying for an exam? Try to think about what the hardest thing they could ask is, and then make sure you know how to do that. I don't know what your exam's on. Your exam's on Chinese. Oh, I guess for a language. I'm not sure about language exams, besides just memorize everything and practice. Maybe if you can write a practice exam for yourself, the fact that you wrote yourself a practice exam would be a pretty good way to study. And if you're not able to do that, then that means you don't know what could be on a test. And a lot of taking exams, it's like, if you know what's on the test, it's going to be easier, right? There's very specific subjects where like a test is actually hard because of the content and how you need to perform. A lot of times a test is hard because you don't know the answer or don't know how to get the answer. But as long as you either know how to get the answer or what the answer is, then it's easy. Most things in life are kind of like that too, actually. It's only hard if you don't know how to do it or if you don't know it at all. Say like, I've heard people say, let me try to think about origami. Yeah, like origami, like reading diagrams. Like, you know, for a lot of people, even people who aren't, like, it makes sense for a beginner that, say, Ancient Dragon would be hard to fold, right? But of course, it's because they don't have the experience yet. They don't know what the diagram steps mean yet. It's a lack of knowledge. But if people who know it, it's like pretty easy. And then, but there's still people who are experienced in origami, but they didn't learn all the diagram steps, what they mean or what they could be, or there's a lack of knowledge there. And that's what makes the Ancient Dragon hard instead of it, because it's really not that hard, right? It's all relative difficulty. Or they don't have the paper. A lot of people say it's hard because their paper always rips, but it's because they didn't learn the skill of paper, which is a skill, right? Actually, that's like one of my arguments I want to make. I've been trying to make for people over to, he's like, don't complain about not having paper. You should try to learn how to get the paper, or, you know, if that makes sense. But you guys here, you're all pretty good at that. Especially if you can at least make tissue paper, you're in a good spot. But for a lot of Americans, they like to complain. Maybe it's an American thing. Change the name of the stream to Life Advice Explained Using Origami. Oh, dude, that's a good title. It's about Chinese New Year. Oh, wow, that's an interesting exam. Yeah, well, I guess you try to find things that your teacher might want you to write about, if it's a writing exam. Then about that, you can find some data points to talk about, and then you have that as your, you know, your, what do they call it, your data, and then you analyze it or something like that. To use wet shaping, this is wet shaping. Wet folding is, well, yeah, I guess you can wet shape a lot of things. This is what I'm doing technically right here is wet shaping, right? So I'm using glue to make this wet and using the adhesion properties to make it strong, so that when it dries, it's in place like that. You know, it's the concept is very, very similar to wet folding, honestly. But wet folding is kind of its own thing for more of like curves. But I mean, the same thing here. I'm trying to do curves, so it kind of depends who you talk to and how picky they are. But yeah, you could say I wet shape everything, almost everything. There's some things you can get away with without doing it, but more for fun than like a serious fold. This is more of a serious fold, I'd say. Okay, so I'm gonna do my same elbow joint because I really like the elbow joint I used last time. Do we have the luxury to use an entire... I think we do. We're using an entire... I should probably make this structural. I should just add this to the design, but... Big fan. Oh, hey, thanks for joining in the stream. Glad you can make it. I thought wet shaping referred to water. Well, I mean, a lot of glues are either watered down or they're liquid. Wet folding is normally only water. I'd say wet shaping is water and glue. The definition's changed in the past couple years because of how origami has advanced very quickly since like 2016. There's been a lot of huge moments since 2016, I'd say. Not really a specific date of 2016, but like, yeah, I don't know. Past 6 years, past 5 years there's been insane level ups. Yeah, I try to use as little glue as possible too. I don't like to overglue things too much because, again, a lot of times it would make it too flat if you use too much glue. Or it makes it messy because the glue gets on the outside. But yeah, you can see here, right? I'm gluing in a lot of places, but I'm not using very much glue. Or the areas I would use more glue in, there's a specific reason why I would do so. But that's my style. But there's many styles. Like again, with super glue, since it dries faster and it's stronger, there's a different method of application to it. Where you still probably don't use that much glue, but it's a little bit faster to dry, at least, than using a brush. Yeah, I recommend for everyone, if you want to level up your origami and you don't use glue or don't use wet shaping or wet folding, you should try. You'll learn a lot. And even if you don't like it, that's fine, but you should try. Yeah, you need a lot of patience for, like, if you use, the more water you use, the more patience you need, because water it takes time to dry. Takes a long time to dry. But if you're using glue, then, you know, like you can see here, it's drying already. Okay, what grid line did I use for that? So the first one here. Mark, I think even Horiguchi Naoto Waifu Master used some sort of wet shaping on his tissue foil paper. Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, I mean, you could use tape instead of glue, right? And technically you could use water. And you could actually do it without glue because you can do it with foil, which has been done by Paper Forger. However, it would take absolutely forever to not use glue to get the same result as if you did use glue. So the question really is like, why didn't you use glue? You should have used glue. instead of, yeah. So it's like it's one of those things. Like you can definitely do it without glue. It'll just take forever. The thing is, and you need to use the right paper. If you use foil for it, that'd be fine. You don't need glue. But it's like so I learned this from when I was on a TV show. I met a paper artist named Michael Velquette, and he has a saying that paper has memory. I really like that because, yeah, paper has memory. You can get it to do things. And oftentimes it's about pressure and time, just like anything else. So if you apply enough pressure and apply enough time, then it'll hold its memory. Just like if you study for your exam for a certain amount of time with a certain intensity, you'll, you know, have the memory for your exam. However, you can accelerate that by like using study tools, or in terms of origami, you can just use glue. And it's the exact same process. That's usually my counter argument for people who try to project their purism ideals onto me. Yeah. So if anyone like tries to be mean to you for using glue, that's what you tell them. And they'll be like, oh. And if they don't say oh, then you just leave them be. Don't argue. They're hurting themselves, honestly, if they are like that. Because paper remembers your wrinkles. That is true. That is very true. Yeah, that's something that not even glue can fix. Life Lessons 101 with boys. Hey, let's go, dude. Yeah, no, Forger's a legend for doing the region with foil. It's crazy. I think if you heard it in the design stream, we talked about it a little bit. I said Forger is like that him doing that was like the largest flex of that year. It's like the greatest flex. Stop anti-glue propaganda. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, where did anti-glue propaganda, like, somehow it started, right? It's like, where did it even start from? I don't understand. Because blue's been used for years, dude. Like, even in modern origami for like 60 years. And then even in ancient times, I'm sure they used glue for even for just making the paper, right? Because they didn't have things like hair dryers back then, so I was like, just use glue. There's a lot of adhesives back then, like clay. Even you can cement. Cement was a thing back then. You know, if you guys want to do a quick Google search for me, can someone look up what was invented first, paper or glue? What came first? You know, I just realized that this paper kind of blends into the background a little bit too much. I apologize if it is camouflaging on your screen. I wonder if I should change the lighting to glue 1750. Okay, so paper definitely predates glue. But I'm sure some of those origami folders still use some kind of either preservative or glue or something to make the paper last longer when it was used as like more of a decorative thing. Like, you think about boxes, right? The paper needs to be strong enough to be a box. And there was boxes back then. Yeah. Papyrus itself was like, what, ancient Egypt? Hundred BC. Yeah. There we go. We got a little history lesson there. Thanks, guys. When was origami invented? 1400s? Ryujin was the first origami with scales around that time. I don't think it was the first with scales. Let me think. It was the most scaled. I'm trying to remember. I have the book. Maybe I can read it from Satoshi. Because that transition unit, you can see him develop that kind of pleats. Which I think he mentioned was inspired by Issei Yoshino. Or Yoshino Issei. Who had a similar... Who basically started pioneering that style of level shifter down pleat, half pleat sequence. And then later, after using it in a couple different designs, Satoshi found you could get scales out of it. So yeah, I don't know if Ryujin was the first one with that, but something around the lines of that, I think. Someone can fact check me if they want. I could be wrong. But I do know it's like a Issei Yoshino was a lot of inspiration for Satoshi Kamiya. I'm gonna drink some water. Water stream. Hydration check. Alright, and it looks like my camera is about to overheat. So we might have to switch to the other one pretty soon. If my screen goes black, that's what happened. But actually, I wonder if we can do this. If we can turn the other camera on underneath it. And then if this one dies, maybe it'll automatically pop the other one up. So we won't have a black screen. We're going to see if that works. I'm not sure if that's going to work. But... Alright, so we have... Or joint. And I want the arms, like, kind of being in, like, a flex. I don't know if I want, like, a bodybuilder pose, but it's kind of like a very open, kind of muscular kind of pose that he's gonna have. Senbaratsu is 1798. Okay, so maybe glue came before origami. There you go. You can use that as another, the anti-glue propaganda, right? Or against the anti-glue propaganda. I don't know. It's all funny. I'm okay with purists. It's just kind of weird when they aren't okay with our stuff. Or call us cheaters. It's like, right, cheating. All right, so with this one, yeah, I'm actually going to be facing these up like this. So it's going to create spikes outwards from the body, which is going to look a little bit weird, but I want to try it. I want to try it. My normal brain is telling me, boys, that might be weird, and so my creative brain is going to be like, do it. See if it's actually weird. But should create some, it'll make the chest a little bit more 3D, just in a different way than being from like a pectoral muscle kind of thing. It's going to just be spikes. Well, again, I kind of explain, or I think, are you memeing about the glue? Yeah. You can fold Ryujin without glue. It just looks a lot better with glue. And faster. It looks better faster without glue. With glue. It looks better faster with glue. You spend a lot of time and you hold, so right, if I wanted to say for this guy, right, if I didn't want to use glue at all, if I wanted his arm to be in this shape without glue, right, I could like hold it in place, add a little bit of water, let it dry, and hold it in place for like 3 weeks and just repeat the process of wetting, drying, wetting, drying, wetting, drying with water until the paper basically solidifies itself like that, and the memory of the paper sticks to this as its natural pose. And then there you go. So for Ryujin, if you wanted to like say close up the scales, right, you could just like clamp it in place and do the same thing, water, dry, water, dry, water, dry, for like 3 weeks, and then it would, after 3 weeks of that, yeah, it'll probably stay. That's how you do it. So yeah, it's not impossible. It's just, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Jaden? You're gonna try to fold Ryujin like that in the future? You can try I would try something a little bit easier to try Chernojin. If you can do Chernojin without glue, then it's pretty much the same thing. I have a video of Cameo gluing his Ryujin if you need some more explanation. Oh, I already have the Cameo's okay with glue. That's normally the first thing I start with. And a lot of times it freaks people out. And they're like, "What's your source?" And I got permission from my source to say this as my source. Brian Chan. And then they freak out even more, and then they're like, "Oh, okay." And then normally they come up with some other random stuff, and then who knows? Maybe they end up starting to use glue. That's happened before with some of my conversations. I mean, as long as I always explain it nicely to them, and then it just lets them see that what they've been, wherever they were taught that glue was not okay, they're like, "Oh, that was not correct. Someone told me that," or they heard it from somewhere and it was just not correct. Nice source. Yeah, it's a pretty good source, right? That's a pretty strong source. You folded anything, Jaden? Any projects? Or you just kind of vibing, enjoying some origami streams? By the way, guys, how many people here have watched the? Well, there's only 8 people here, but did you guys get a chance to watch through my Tadashi Mori custom shaping video? It's like, hello guys, done with shaping in 2 years. Yeah, pretty much, right? Best vid, man. Oh, sweet, dude. Yeah, I think that was a pretty cool video. You know, I thought at first it was, I mean, it's mainly me like just talking. But I think I showed some useful examples that can get people started on some stuff. And I even used examples without glue for the most part, except for the end. So even the purist will be happy. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think it was a pretty cool video. I wasn't able... Honestly, this was so much fun to do. I might not do the tail again because that was kind of messy, but at least the Darkness Dragon head was really cool to do on the Pocket Dragon. Like, this was really fun to fold. You watched the first one? Yeah, it was like... Yeah, I figured out what was happening. It was playing like 2 frames, right? And then it would rewind 1 frame and then play 2 more. So it looked like I was like it was crazy. It looked crazy. It was wild. Because the audio kept tuned, but it would like jump or... Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. You revealed the secret teeth technique though. Hey, yeah. Apparently Tadashi said that's not how he did it. So I still don't really know how he did his teeth, but that's how I did the teeth. I think in the Darkness Dragon 3.2 though, there's another flap. The head's more similar to this head than for the 3.1. The 3.1 head was vastly different. But the snout was long enough where I could do that technique. The point split. Hello, I'm back. They're like his Charizard. Oh, you know? That makes sense. That's probably yeah. I think if I went cleaner though, you can actually get some really clean teeth out of that point split. I just showed it like way too fast, but welcome back. Oh, we got more bots. Okay, let's block this. There you go. Nice. All right, we're looking good, pretty good so far. I want these to start angling upwards though, so we're gonna... I don't really want to crease it though, but... You know, I think I'm gonna do these pleats here, actually. There's just 2. Alright, we've been live for an hour and a half. I think we'll go a little bit longer and then I'll call it a day. I think there's some other stuff I have to get done and I have to prepare the judging sheets for the OBB competition. But yeah, guys, I think... So there's a huge Instagram post tomorrow and then I'm going to try to film maybe a Reels for Instagram as well pretty soon. But in terms of YouTube videos, there's going to be a continuation of the IO review. And then once the submissions are in, I'm wondering if I should do an OBB competition review before the judges make their pick. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do it after they do their pick. But maybe I'll make a video highlighting, just like a highlight video of everyone's submission. And then like kind of get people excited and see who's going to be the winner, you know? Kind of like a roster check, you know, not really. So that'll be like a really short video. Yeah, I got some work to do, and then yeah, just followed you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the follow, Jaden. Good stuff. After sounds better. Yeah, you I think you're right, actually. I think after would just make more sense. Have you guys seen some of those submissions yet, though? Like, oh man. I think I've posted most of them on my story as reposts. Because normally if I see someone fold my design, I try to repost it. Oh man, there's some really good ones. Speaking of Tadashi Mori, I can't believe he folded. It blows my mind. I mean, obviously I knew he was gonna fold it because he joined a competition, but it's like, oh man, it's like it's pretty cool. Like I never imagined that would happen. I was like stunned. Starstruck maybe is a good, I don't know. It's pretty cool. And it's like I've talked to Tadashi quite a bit now. But still, it's like it blows my mind that we've made it this far. Love your work, amazing. Hey, thank you, man. Thanks, Ruben. Any updates on 4.0 by Kamiya? That would be that'd be a question for Grant. I mean, the Moa came out, so I mean, yeah, no, nothing from Kamiya. If you check what's his recent design? He's done some recent stuff. I think he did something for Tantedon magazine, and then he's probably cooking quite a bit up. Oh yeah, with the hexagonal. That would be like a worthy enough change to kind of do. But yeah, I think that'd be a worthy enough change. I don't know if they'd look good though, because they're more like setted scales than like directional scales. But it'd be surely interesting. I feel like for a full 4.0, it needs like more overhaul, like a larger structural change than just the scales. Because like, you think about the difference between like the 2 and the 3.5 is the Pythagorean stretch for the legs, which allows the leg scales. That's a huge structural change. You know what I mean? Recommended paper size is 70 meters. Oh my goodness. Good luck folding. That'd be funny, man. 2 kilometer paper. Imagine that. Imagine if we, like, maybe in the future, if we have really good robots, they could fold a 2 kilometer paper. I think making that paper would be harder than folding it, actually. Making that paper, like, strong enough to not tear. 4 kilometer paper. That'd be crazy. Consider Fernando Shenlong like a region 3.6. I guess so, yeah. I think the Shenlong is also like diagonal symmetry, right? There's the other Shenlong as well by the Chinese designer. It's pretty spicy as well, I gotta say. Okay, so I need to think about this really quick. This is glued down here. Does that add structural support? Okay, we're gonna take a risk, but I think it'll be worth it. And then on my next one, I think I'll change the level shifter because I think it makes more sense. But we're setting the shoulders into place to shape later. And basically, what I'm thinking is, as I pull this sideways, it's not going to be too beautiful of a rounded outness, but it will it'll actually hold. It'll add structure to hold this part of the arm up. Oh yes, of course. K1 Nabe. Yeah, it's like I think his style is one of the best organic styles. It's very hard to replicate. But yeah, the aged dragon is a very cool design. And his smog is really cool. And I really like his fish. His fish are really, because it's so organic, it works really well. Especially with the fish. I mean, the dragon designs are obviously really, really cool, but man, the fish are crazy. Even though they're far less complex, they really, I don't know, I love it. Super impressive. That's true. They're like mini regions. Yeah, K1 Abe though, he's really cool. Really cool designs. Let's drink some more water. Water. Ah, good stuff. If you guys, make sure you guys are drinking some water too. Stay hydrated. I just realized this is off-centered a little bit. Okay, I'll fix that later. Okay, I think I am gonna glue this part of the foot because I already know how I'm shaping the leg. So we're gonna glue this down, and then we might actually be able to start the foot a little bit. Get that out of the way. Me in 2050 done with scales for 4.0, guys. Yeah, that would be a mission. That'd be pretty crazy. It'd be like, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have learned too much about like classical artists, But then you know how there were some like ancient painters that would take like, 30 years to complete a painting, like across like a whole church roof or something like that. That'd be like someone taking on Origami 4.0. Yeah, in terms of that sense, right? Kinda. Don't forget Momo V2. It's pretty funny. Okay, I'll let this dry a little bit more first before I glue it. Or before I fold it into the toe. I also I'm gonna refresh my memory on how I did the foot on my other version. Just so I can kind of keep it the same, because I really liked how I did it. It was simple and clean. And it had shape where I could close off the back of the leg for the most part. Thinking of making every Akatsuki member this. Yo, that would be really cool. And then like once you're done with all of them, you can make a post with all of them together. You can probably film. I would film a video, Sean, to get all of them together, and kind of you can even that'd be really cool. I like that idea. That's a good project. But yeah, your first hurdle is that Ryujin though, right? And then once you finish that, honestly, after I finished my Ryujin, I felt so free to like fold other models. It was pretty enjoyable once I was able to start folding other things other than the Ryujin when I finished. So it definitely feels really good to finish Ryujin. One, because it like you folded Ryujin, but two, so that you don't have to fold Ryujin anymore. It kind of be like that. Pain. See, it's now assembled. Then I'll show them one by one. Yeah, that'd be super cool. Okay, this I'm gonna commit to this being here. Technically, there's room to do a lot more details here, but I'm just gonna stop here for now and be okay with just this detail. I think there's enough texture that I liked for the belt that it's good enough. Yeah, originally the front part, the waistcoat, was like very plain. And because everything else is so textured, I was like, I need to do something to add at least the same amount of texture to the waist belt to make it make sense. And I think we got that. There's quite a bit of detail. Yeah, the characters from Naruto are really well designed as well. They're great, definitely great subjects to make designs from. Alright, and then do I just commit to that too? I think we can kind of commit to that. I'm just going to glue like this part down so that it can still kind of flop around just a little bit. Just, again, so it kind of makes sense. It's not super flat. I don't want it to look too flat. But I want it to hold its position. Like that should be enough. It might be a little too much. Oh no, that's good. Now I just have to fold them after your exam. Nice, dude. Well, that's a good thing to look forward to after your exam. For sure. It's very exciting. Alright, nice. These are glued down, and then we won't glue the inside part yet just because I want to see how to shape it first. And this is decent. This needs to be fixed a little bit. Like that. I wonder if we should figure out the neck while we can. I wonder if we can do just like a clean mush. Like that. Yeah, that's promising. Right. So it's stuck. It's kind of stocky, but that's kind of okay because he's a knight. And then we just need to push that in. And that's where we glue. Okay, I think this will work. Let's try. We'll go one at a time to on these parts in the back. Or maybe we should have done, maybe we should do both at the same time because it'll kind of lock it into place. Like that. All right, I think that's gonna be pretty cool. And now we just hold it in place while it dries, since it's a little bit... This would be like a good place to use super glue, like right in the middle there, so then that will actually hold. Because that's a lot of tension actually on the paper, so it's trying to pull away from the glue. So I actually have to hold it here until the glue dries further to get that strength. The helmet looks pretty... Oh, thanks, man. Looking so cool. Yeah, so... Yeah, I test folded it earlier, but... I think in the premiere, I was talking how I test fold like every day with Kami. So like, here's like the basic concept that I had, which is, it's actually pretty simple. It's just the two flaps here, and then this is missing one set of horns, I guess, because in here there's gonna be two sets, right? But because like I didn't have room to test, I just wanted to use an 8 grid, not a 12 grid, to test. I just reduced it and it worked out, and so I was like, all right, and then I just applied it to here and it worked. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then since you're a YouTube member, you've seen the modified crease pattern now. So yeah, I think I posted that earlier, so you can kind of see how that works from the crease pattern. Because I actually I added a lot of shaping to the crease pattern. So like pretty much this and this is in the crease pattern naturally. Hey, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's looking pretty spicy. I'm gonna have to hold it a little bit longer. Might need to add more glue later, but at least this initial shape should hold. Yeah, you know. Got that sneak peek preview. Very nice. All right. Yeah, let's add a little bit more. Just ate lunch. Nice, dude. What'd you have for lunch? I had a taco. Nice. Instant noodle. Nice. I'll share the progress picture of what I'm designing on the Discord. It's a secret. Ooh, okay. Nice, guys. I gotta check out a secret. Sweet. I will take a look at that after the stream. Dude, that's exciting. I like these collaborations, man. It's pretty cool. We're bringing more community together. That's pretty sick. Congrats on winning the Olympics. That's a big achievement. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to future projects and designs from your channel. Thank you. Yeah. I'll make sure. I definitely have planned out a lot of cool things for this channel. So lots of content and origami related stuff coming soon for y'all. It's good stuff. I'm excited. All right. I'm going to have to hold this here for quite a little while, I think. I'm gonna close up the glue, and then I think we're gonna probably call that stream. Gotta edit my project for school. Yeah, it looks like people are starting to have to go too. So I think we'll start wrapping up the stream here. I think this is a good time to end. But yeah, guys, I think thanks for hanging out with me a lot. You guys hung out with me a lot today. So it was a 2-hour stream and then like a 30-minute YouTube premiere. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, thanks everyone for chatting and stuff. This is kind of a sneak peek as well. You guys get to see what it looks like before it's fully shaped, but it's almost done, you know? It's really getting there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for your support. And like I mentioned, there are going to be videos coming very soon, as well as updates on the OBB competition. So yeah, super, super exciting. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Stay safe. Keep folding origami. Have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to look out for that post tomorrow. It's a really cool collaboration. Yeah, see you guys later. See ya. See you guys. Thank you.